Unit 1, Foundations of Geometry, question number 5. So, question number 5 wants us to use a compass and a straight edge to copy angle I. So, this represents angle I. The vertex of the copied angle should be at the point I complement. So, this vertex should be the same as the vertex that would be right here. So, what we're going to do first is that we're going to draw a straight line. So, draw a straight line, which represents actually not a line but a ray. So this is the starting point, then it extends with an arrow. Then we're going to go ahead and put our compass at the angle I, so that's where the vertex of the I would be. Now I'm going to draw an arch. So I'm going to draw an arch. Archy. Alright, so draw an arch. So after I draw my arch, I'm going to do the same thing on my line right here. So I'm going to draw my same arch on my I complement. So draw a similar arch to what I just drew. So, so again, hold your pencil very sturdily. Okay, so draw my arch. There we go. So now I'm going to label my intersecting arches. So label this intersecting arch, label here and here, so all my intersecting arches. Now I'm going to measure from one intersecting arch to the other intersecting arch, and then that same distance I'm going to draw an arch there also. So I'm going to draw an arch like this. So let me extend the first primary arch that I did, extend it a little bit more. Okay, so this is where the point would be. So all I have to do now is just draw a line cutting straight through that point. A ray rather. So draw a ray. So just like that. So let's try the next one. So again, we're using a compass and a straight edge to copy angle F into F complement. So we have F complement, draw a ray. Then I put my compass at the vertex point. And then I'm going to go ahead and draw my arch. So this is what my arch would look like. So my arch would look like. Then I do the same thing on my F complement. Put my point on the vertex point. And draw my arch. So I like turning my paper. Turning paper makes it a little easier. Okay, so I have my arch and I'm going to label intersecting points. Intersecting point where the arch intersects the line. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the point on one side of where the arch intersects the line. And then at the other, I'm going to do the same thing here, and I'm going to draw that arch. So when I draw that arch, the point would be right here. And then I just connect those lines together. So connect this line through this. And then we have, or not line, but ray. So, and then we have our arch. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try the next example. So the next example, we're going to draw a ray. So this is what my ray looks like. And I try to keep it in the same direction as what we see right here, so the same line. Then I put my compass at, so I'm extending my compass a little bit. So that way it's a little bit easier for me to draw. I like this. So yeah. Okay, so now I do the same thing here. Put a compass here. Draw my arch. Draw my arch. Label my intersecting points. I know the end of that looked kind of weird, but it's okay because my where it intersected was fine. So then I just draw put my point at at both my arches where my arch intersects the line, and I just do the same thing here and draw that arch that will intersect the line right here. Put a point there, and then I draw my ray. So then I draw my ray. So then the final one. So again, I don't have to make it look almost exactly like what I did for the previous one, because as long as you have the same angle, it should be the same thing. So say I wanted to make this more diagonal. So say I wanted to make this line looks a little weird. Say I wanted to make this a little bit more diagonal. So as long as I make sure that my arches are equivalent, I should be fine. So just make my arch. So my arch is gonna look like. Okay. So I just make sure that this has the same equivalent arch. Okay. Then I go ahead and label those points. So label those intersecting points where the arch intersects the line. Then I go ahead and put my compass at both of these intersecting arches, and I do the same thing right here. Put it at the intersecting arch, draw my arch, then I have my intersecting point right here where both of those arches intersect, and then I just draw that line straight through, or that ray. Draw that ray straight through. So again, just like that. So let's practice some examples on delta. So if I was supposed to practice the same example, again, first thing I do is draw my ray. So I press the point, extend. So extend, then I click compass, put it at the point G, and then extend it on that line. And I'm going to draw my arches. Then I'm going to take where the vertex is and drag it to be the same vertex. So this vertex, bring it to this vertex. Then I'm going to draw the same arch. Then I'm going to go ahead and bring this vertex point and drag from one intersecting arch to the other. Draw my intersection. Then I drag this point right here. So this point that I have right here, I'm going to drag it to that same equivalent point on the line. Then I'm going to draw my intersecting line. Okay, so then I'm going to now click ray and then connect those lines straight through that point, just like that. Let's try another one. So again, draw my ray. As I said, you don't have to have the ray in the same direction. I'm going to draw it more diagonal if I wanted to. And then I'm going to go ahead, click compass and drag this. Oh, too much. So then I draw my arches. And I go to that same equivalent vertex point down here, draw my arches, and then I go back to one of the intersecting points, extend this to the other intersecting point, and again you can draw your arch there if you want. You don't need to. And then go back to here. I should have drawn it a little bit wider. So this is where the arch is. I'm going to actually adjust this a little bit because that was a little too wide. It wasn't wide enough, sorry. So when I did my circle here, this should have been a little wider. There we go. So then now I can click ray and then connect these two together. Okay, so this should be correct. Let's try another one. So again, we draw our ray. So again, if you want to just use the same way that it looks, probably makes it a little easier for you. So then we draw a compass, put it at the vertex point, extend, draw your arch. Draw your arch, then drag the vertex to the vertex, draw your arch, then drag your vertex to one of your intersecting points, extend intersecting to intersecting, draw your arch. So that means I do the same thing here, intersecting, draw your arch, and then draw your ray. So ray straight through. So let's do one last one. So click ray, extend, then we draw a compass, extend, draw my arches, carry, draw my arches, even though I can't really see it. Then I bring it to one of the intersecting point, extend intersecting to intersecting, draw your arch, which you don't really need to, but I like to do that. And then I draw my arch again, and then I will click ray, and then I go ahead and put my ray through that intersecting point. Okay, so again, just like that.